Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this week's Intuitive Energy Update. My name's Lisa Lyle. This is my channel here on YouTube. If you are new, welcome. If you are coming back, thank you so much for continuing to choose to be here. Whew, it is 12:21. Will you look at that? 12:21 on the 15th of February. 2024, and we are now into the new lunar year, the year of the wood dragon. We are between our Aquarius new moon and our Virgo full moon, which is setting up to be incredibly supportive, and yet the lead up may feel incredibly challenging. So normally I do these energy updates on Wednesday. It is now a Thursday. And the reason being, like all of you, I'm feeling everything that's going on externally. And as an empath, as a planetary grid worker, I really feel the energy of the earth. And for the last few days, I would say actually the last week or so, there has been this strong need to, almost like the turtle goes into his shell. And the reason for this is that we are being asked to refine our self-care practices and the way that we show up for ourselves in our daily life. And that's not always easy. And yet, at the end of the day, if we don't show up for ourselves, if we don't take care of ourselves, if we don't take responsibility for our own happiness and well being, who is going to do this for us? And the answer is nobody. And yet, that's a lot of time what humans do, right? We plug in, we meet someone else and we plug in, and yes, this is my happiness. Yes, this is my fulfillment. And in very short order, we find that that is in fact not true because we take ourselves wherever we go. So if we are feeling depleted of energy, if we are feeling that we're lacking or missing something, we often will go to others to fill that need in ourselves instead of showing up for ourselves. So, in fact, we are being asked at this time to show up for ourselves. I just wanted to share a few things because I really feel that this reflects the energetics of this time perfectly. And saying that, it's important to acknowledge that each of us were born to shine. Each of us have come to this lifetime with an immense wealth of gifts, talent, creativity, um, and just simply the right to be here because of the fact that we're here. So, yesterday was my Sunday, and instead of connecting online, I was really guided to get outside. And for those of you who have been traveling with me for a while, you know of my strong connection to nature. It's very intimate, it's very supportive, it's very nurturing. And I have been almost rejecting that part of myself for quite some time now. I mean, I still do get outside. I certainly don't spend nearly as much time outside and around the lake as I once did. And there has been a real call from my soul to get back to basics, get back to that which supports me in feeling inspired, stabilized, harmonized, and at ease in my own experience. So, yesterday, after a couple of walks with a couple of my dogs, I have two. One requires like long walks. He wants to go for 2, 3 hours, and the other one is just content to go around the block. So, after doing that, I was like, you know what? I want to take a walk just for myself. And so I did about a half an hour before sunset. I left the house. I walked down to the lake. I found a beautiful bench with a beautiful view, and I sat there and watched the sun go down. And it was amazing. And it was that little, those little things we do for ourselves add up to big things. And it is about not doing it perfect all the time. It's just simply about showing up for ourselves and one step at a time, one habit at a time. We are creating, or we're being asked to create, these new routines in our life that support our overall well being. And so I was guided to pull some cards from for myself. And this card, no, this isn't the one that came out first. This card came out first. And I remember that because it's a 21. Choose a natural solution when possible. So a lot of times when things aren't going the way that we had hoped or wished, we're seeking these external solutions to often what are internal issues. And so when this card came out, it was like a big kiss on the cheek or a big kiss on the forehead from Spirit, saying you are the solution, and what is going to feel best and most natural for you in this moment. And that was getting to nature. 21 is the world card in the tarot. 21 is a completion of a cycle, a long karmic cycle for many of us is being wrapped up at this time. And it really feels like it's there's a quickening in the air. And this quickening, I feel, is um, leading us to the equinox, the true birth of the new year, the new season in our life. And so from now until then, you are being inspired to take action on the information, the guidance, and the inspired thoughts that you are receiving. Begin to once again co create with the divine as the divine wants to move through your life. The solutions aren't convoluted and confusing, that is the ego. The solutions that are truly divinely guided are simple and often just taking the next step in front of us. Like I've spent a couple days yesterday, actually, as well. I spent the first few hours of the day, which is why the live didn't get done yesterday, because I put on a playlist. I was dancing and grooving around, moving my body, shifting and shaking as I was changing the whole dynamic in my living space again, and particularly in the room that I sleep. Everything came off the walls, everything got cleaned, things went out to the garage, never to be seen in the house again. And it feels fresh and clean and vibrant in that space. And I had a great sleep last night. So those things really matter, like if we have a lot of dust bunnies and hairballs and all this kind of stuff in our space, it is going to affect our ability to rest well, to think clearly, and all of this stuff. So give it a try. The next card that came out was this extreme times require deep reflection. It's a 41, which comes to a 5, the number of change. This can be challenging for many of us. And yet, on the other side of change is the life you deserve, is the life you've dreamed of. So do not be afraid to change. And this is also speaking about our companions in the animal kingdom. Here we have a raven or a crow, a wolf, and a large cat. It looks like a cougar. And so knowing that, again, and it's only through our connection to nature that we really connect to these animals. I'm not saying we have wolves and cougars running around the neighborhood, although we have coyotes and foxes running around our neighborhood. It's just getting out into the natural world helps us to connect more easily with these spirit guides, with these power animals. And like the cougar really speaks about, for me, and in this moment, the divine feminine power to sort of observe and become aware of our surroundings before we make a move. Crow slash raven here is really about, um, the keeper of secrets, the sacred keys of life. And then we have the wolf, and wolves often travel in packs. So this really feels, well, wolves do travel in packs, not often. Coyotes don't travel in packs. They are solitary, except here in my part of the world, we have what are called coy wolves. So you will see coyotes, hanging out in groups and that kind of stuff. Anyways, that's a random tidbit. But this is really saying, at this time, what do you require? And what is required of you to feel calm and peaceful and at ease in your experience in the moment? Speaking about the wolf, it's really feeling to me like um, majesty, that finding our tribe. And so doing those things that connect us to others of like mind and heart, and really being finding those people that inspire us, that lift us up, that encourage us to continue to follow the unique and sacred path of our heart, because this is where your treasure lies. This is where your gifts reside. And then we've got the reflect and release. So it's funny, we had 21, 41, and 31. And the 111, your angels are all around you. They're listening, they're guiding, they're supporting you, and they want you to do what you need to rest. Here we have a wolf again in this image, and this divine masculine feels to me and looks to me like the embodiment of the Christ, Jesus, our dear brother, the bringer of light, who reminds us that we are the resurrection of his very own light in this lifetime. Do you understand how powerful that makes each and every one of us when we choose to live in our power? And our power is not domineering and aggressive, it is peaceful, like the peaceful dove. Oh, look, does he have a little cat on his lap as well? Yes, he does. And this speaks of, again, I'm feeling the feminine principle of God coming in, and also that independent spirit, that independence of heart. There's no need to be a part of the crowd. We are one within the crowd. Because then the next card that came out, which I found it actually didn't come out. It was on the bottom of the deck and I was asked to look. And it was think outside the flock. And it's a number 29, which comes to 11. So you aren't here. We were not born to fit in a box. In fact, we are meant to open up and really recognize that we are one within the spiral of grace. Grace, the unmerited gift. So there's nothing we need to do to earn God's grace, to earn God's favor in our life, except to turn deeper within to you, to us, and our personal experience. So you're not meant to be a sheep. You're not meant to, you're not meant to look and be like everyone else. Your gifts aren't like anyone else's. This is about honoring your individuality within the whole and honoring your uniqueness, and stop resisting. Stop resisting the change. Stop resisting the flow. I've been thinking a lot about these days about the whole confusion around gender, this ideology that seems to be permeating our planet. And what I've come to understand is that this is beautiful children of light rejecting themselves, feeling like the creator, the loving creator, made a mistake with them. It's absolute nonsense. And I'm beginning to feel within me this sacred rage rising to speak up against this nonsense. We are watching our children resist aspects of who they are and feeling that there's some drastic way that they need to change themselves. And in fact, what is happening is we are actually condoning and witnessing more and more self harm and self mutilation, and it must stop. And so, that just kind of came out of nowhere, except that it was this resistance card that the word resistance that really brought that back to the forefront. So we must stop resisting aspects of ourselves that are necessary. We must stop resisting the feminine and masculine aspects of ourselves that exist right here and now within us in this very moment. It is who we are. Trust your beautiful heart. There is nothing, and certainly nothing surgically or chemically, that you need to do to change yourself. Be who you are. Be proud of who you are. And if you're not proud of who you are, reach out and connect with me. And I'm sure I can list off a litany of beautiful things about you in this moment that nobody else possesses. So, because look at this, you are beautiful. This is a number 20. This is all about the high priestess energy. This here was a number 25. It's all about our physical body, how we show up for ourselves, how we care for ourselves. And the children on the planet at this time who are rejecting aspects of themselves, it's not divine. We've lost our collective minds. I'm finding all of our marbles down at the lake one by one, so we'll get there. But this is about recognizing the beauty that exists within you, within this moment, right here and now. And right here and now, the only thing that needs to change or to shift perhaps is your perspective on things, your perspective on life. As was said at the beginning, these are challenging times. I'm feeling it extremes. We've got this again because the very first card out was extreme times require deep reflection. And here again, we've got the extremes. And again, a number 7, 3 plus 4 is 7. What's going on in your body? What's going on in your mind? How are you feeling? Do you feel sick? Do you feel heart sick, soul sick? I would hesitate to get, or I would confidently guess that many are experiencing a deep soul sickness, which is this rejection and resistance of the sacred self, who we are. So we want to come to a place, we want to support ourselves so we're not living in these extremes, like the pendulum flying off the back and forth, always trying to find our footing. The key is to find our footing in the space between. We are to become the peace that prevents these extremes. And that is wisdom. And here we've got another 2. So we had 2 7s and we have 3 2s. This is about standing on your own 2 feet, showing up for yourself. If you are not responsible for your happiness, who is? No one. No one. I'm here to say no one's responsible for your happiness except for you. And so, how can you show up for yourselves today? 2 is the high priestess, this intuition. What is being hidden? What are you hiding from? What are you hiding from yourself? Because wisdom, beautiful family of light, is nothing more than pain healed. And wisdom comes with age. And we may, as young maidens and young lads, feel like, the older folks, they're so old and they don't know anything. Well, that's not true. And that's the ego of youth coming in. As we get older, and in native cultures and traditions, it is believed that you are not a mature adult until your 50th winter. So, I mean, that's a long time, right? 50 years to grow up. And yet that's about what it takes, right? And then we begin to show up for ourselves. So if you're under 50, if you're in your 20s, your teens, your 30s, your 40s. Catch on now, because what you're going to do by catching on now and deeply showing up for yourselves on a daily basis is you are going to prevent years, save yourselves years of struggles and heartaches. It's best that you just begin to be yourself and remove and uncover anything that keeps your beautiful sacredness under cover, under wraps, and it's under layers of pain. Um, So, should we do some singing bowl? I think that we should. And it's right here. So basically, this entire message is about showing up for yourselves here, now, in this powerful present moment. And I hope that you have a fantastic week. I'm looking forward to connecting with you again next week. Tune in. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel and hit that little notification bell, and you will be notified anytime a new video has been uploaded. And I can tell you there are probably, well, there's a month worth of videos coming out every second day. Angel messages, gifts from the shadow, the gifts of your inner child, all kinds of stuff. So feel free to look around, get comfortable, begin to connect, open up, reach out. Let's begin to grow this community of love and light, inspiration and healing. That is what we are here for. So taking a few deep breaths, just allow yourself to receive whatever may be here for you to receive in this moment. I trust that has been supportive to you in this now moment. Lots of activity in and around the heart and the third eye. So the message I received was out of the head and into your beautiful heart. Here is where your greatest treasures lie. Have a great week, everyone. Until next week, I see you, I feel you, I love you. If you would like to work with me, whether it's through a reading, an intuitive healing session, or anything else that you feel I may be able to support you with, please don't hesitate to reach out. Until next time, take good care of yourself. And remember, you were born to shine.